Hello, I'm Ben Bamboozle, and I'm making a bit of a tester video really today. This is a bit of a tryout one. I thought I'd have a go at making a video about my bike and deliveries and stuff, because I've made a little 2-minute video about the bike and it seems to be doing quite well on YouTube, and I've had people ask me if I'll make a delivery video and stuff a bit like Atlanta's, but I'm not going to make anything quite that spectacular. I thought I'd give it a little go. So if you like the video, make sure you give it a like and give me a subscribe as well, because I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel. For those who don't know, I do magic shows, Punch and Judy shows, various other things to do with entertaining, and also on the side I'm also a Uber, Deliveroo and Just Eat delivery rider. So here we go. Talking of Atlanta, here she comes in her car. I can see her. I've got her in my headphones so you can't hear her on here, but there she goes, she's waving. There she goes, she's with Izzy Wizzy, going round the roundabout. Heading to her favourite destination, Broadwater Cricketers. There she goes. Bye-bye, Atlanta. Here's a little look at my bike. Give you a little walk round tour of it. I'll get you all the information about it. It is a Raleigh. There you go. It's not actually built in Nottingham, but designed in Nottingham, UK, England. And it is an e-bike, as you can see. It's got the panniers. Now, the panniers are incredibly handy for doing deliveries with, because when you get shopping orders, you can just put the shopping bags in the panniers instead of having to put them in the rucksack. And that is incredibly handy. Oh, we've got an order. We're online. £2.90, Sainsbury's. I'll take it. Right. So here we go. We've got our order. So switch the bike on, and we are in tour mode. Off to Sainsbury's. Mirror there. There I am. Hello. That was bad. You didn't see me there. Wave there. There we go. And right, Littlehampton Road is that direction. Let's go. So we're at Sainsbury's and picked up the order. It is just some cigarettes and a packet of Brewdog, which, as I said, goes in the panniers very nicely. Let's just see how far we're going. So it's going 0.3 of a mile, which is actually quicker on a bicycle because I can just cut straight across the bike path back there. So it's 5 minutes in the car, about 2 minutes on a bike. So here we go. Well, that really did only take 2 minutes. It was extremely quick. Hasn't actually updated my earnings on Deliveroo yet, but what was it, £2.90 something, but a very quick £2.90, so that's okay. Let me show you a bit more of the bike whilst we wait for another order. Ooh, so on the handlebars here we have the computer. So at the moment it's telling me the range is 52 miles. That's what I've got left in it, but that depends on your riding, the way you ride it. So that goes up and down as you ride and depending on the conditions. So that's currently on tour mode, but I've also got eco mode. So I've put it on there. You'll see that I've got 107 miles on eco mode, or you can switch it off, or you can go to sport mode, which you will currently get 52 miles. Turbo, which is the best, you get 45 on there. You can also, if you hold down the button on here, put it back in tour. If I hold this down, it will then show you the trip. So I reset the trip. You just hold down both buttons to reset it. So I've done a mile so far. Go through it again. I've done 285 miles since I've had the bike. I've had it about 3 weeks now. And back to the range. So, and you've also got your speedo at the top in miles per hour. So that is really handy on there. Over on here, you've got 8 gears. With this system, you can actually, it hasn't got a derailleur on the back, so it's just a hub. If I can show you through there, in there. So you haven't got your derailleur hanging down, it's just a hub gear there. And then you can change gear without actually moving. So I've been pulling away in like 4th or 5th, and then generally I ride along on 6 or 7 on sort of good conditions. Obviously I drop it down when I'm going up a hill. But again, depending on what gear you're in, that has a big effect on your range as well. But the other day I did a good 40 odd miles on it, and I still had, I reckon I had at least another 20 or 30 left on it. So you've got a big range on this. It has got the Bosch Performance Line motor and Bosch battery inside there. You can either take the battery out to charge it, you remove this and then you put your key in and pop the battery out, or you can just charge the battery on the bike. There's the plug socket there for it. You can get your charger, you just plug it in there. Charger's pretty quick. I've never actually fully drained the battery yet, but when I've been charging it, it just seems to take about 2 hours or 3 hours to fully charge it up, which is great. Not getting any orders come through, so I'm going to head back to Broadwater. It's very quiet at the moment, but that's good for making a video. Made it back to Broadwater, back on the park bench as usual. Bike parked up behind me. Weather's lovely, nice and warm. Just thought I'd go through and have a look at the Raleigh website and tell you the specs on the bike rather than me trying to remember them. Here it is on the Raleigh website. It is the Centros, Raleigh Centros. They do two configurations. You either get the step-through frame, which is what I've got there, or you get it with the crossbar on it as well. But obviously for deliveries, I thought it'd be better off being on and off the bike all the time rather than having to swing your leg over all the time. Just have the step-through frame, which I've got to say is very handy. So if we click on here and go down, the Raleigh site is very good. I've got this silver and mint colour. The khaki green one they did have with the crossbar in the shop, which is very nice, which I would have probably gone for. They do different size frames as well. And let me just find out. I think if you order it on the website, you can get 0% finance. So it's got the 625 watt Bosch battery, or the power tube they call it. It says there 130 miles on a single charge. Well, that basically means, I think if you're riding it in eco mode, in perfect conditions, on the flat, sort of with the wind behind you, you might get that out of it. But like I say, the range is incredibly good. When I bought the bike, I thought I was going to have to get a second battery, but so far I haven't. I mean, once you've done sort of 40 or 50 miles on it, you're pretty tired in any case. So I don't know if I would ever actually be able to do a day where I do 100 miles on it. But that's certainly a good day delivering, doing 50 or 60 miles on the one charge. So that's not a problem at all. Plus, also, if you go home and have your lunch, you can stick it on charge. They actually sell a quick charger as well, which they can charge it in a couple of hours. So if you go home and have a bit of lunch, put the bike on charge, you can come out and then work all evening again on it anyway. So the batteries are very expensive, and apparently there is a shortage of the batteries. So I think they're around £700 or £800 for a battery. So hopefully I'll be able to still get away with just the one battery for as long as possible. I don't really want to be buying a second one. Modular rail system. That's the modular rail system that they're talking about on here. That's this bit here. So you can get locks and like water bottles and things that fit in there. That's the modular rail system they're talking about. Specifications, let's have a look. New system, there we go, the Bosch power line. Battery charger type is Bosch. Charging time 5 hours. No, that's if you run it down completely. It's with me at the moment. It seems to charge in like 1 or 2 hours when I've done a day's delivering. And it's got the Bosch performance line motor there, which is in the crank. Which I'll talk about that now. There we go, Nottingham, England. So in terms of the motor and how that works, is it's responsive in terms of how you're pedaling. So the more energy that you're putting in, depending on what mode you have it on, depends on how much percentage sort of assistance it gives you. So we had the e-scooter bike, which we trialed, and that was basically all or nothing. It was more like a moped, where basically you just pedal basically just to switch the motor on. Whereas with this, it adds assistance to you. So you are using your legs, and don't get me wrong, it's certainly a workout on when you're pedaling it, especially when you're on it all day out delivering. You will definitely feel it in your legs, which is also part of the reason why I bought the bike, was because I do want to get fitter. And the e-scooter's great, but the range isn't very good, and you're not really pedaling the thing. You're only pedaling just to switch the motor on, and then you sort of sit back and relax. Whereas with this, if you stop pedaling, the motor, you're not getting any assistance. So you've got to keep pedaling it, which depends what you want, really. But I do want to get fitter. So that's a plus point for me. And also, the more energy that you put in, the more that you're conserving the battery and the more miles that you get out of the battery, which for me, being out all day delivering, the range is a big factor on it. So that was also why I went for the Bosch system and the mid-drive motor. Whereas if you have the front or rear motors, basically, obviously it's not the same. It's not as responsive to your pedaling. So hopefully that explains that. I've probably made a bit of a pig's ear of explaining that, but I'll have a look at this later. If that doesn't make sense, I'll add a bit more to that. And to stick within the law, the motor will drive you up to 15, I think it's 15 or 15 and a half miles per hour. Now the bike does go faster than that, obviously, but you're pedaling it at that point. So I think I've had nearly 30 miles an hour out of it going down a hill. But that was basically me pedaling it as hard as I could. So basically like any other normal bike. But to get you off the mark and get up to like 15 and a half miles an hour, the motor is assisting you. So like pulling away at traffic lights and stuff, you put it in a nice low gear and just start pedaling, and it's an absolute doddle. I think like for pulling away, I was looking at the Bosch brochure. Obviously the gear that you put it in is crucial. So I'm just kind of getting the hang of that at the moment. But I'm getting there with it, and it's very straightforward. You've only got 8 gears anyway, but it is really handy. And the other thing is, once it gets you up to 15 and a half miles an hour, because the motor drives you up to that quite quickly, then you keep pedaling, you often find that you're doing like 16 or 17 miles an hour straight away after that anyway. So half the time I'm riding at 16 or 17 miles an hour, and of course when you're doing that, again, you're conserving the battery at that point as well. Anyway, I'm waffling on here, and it really is not busy with deliveries. If we go on to Deliveroo, look, it shows that it's not busy. And it's not come up at all. If I go into my earnings on here, it's not showed me that I've actually been paid for that order that I just did. So I've not done a lot of deliveries this week. I only worked on Monday, which was the day of the Queen's funeral, and I did £26.88 on Deliveroo. So I don't know why that's not showed. Sometimes it does this. If it doesn't show up tonight, I'll have to phone customer services and find out what's going wrong with it. But yeah, it's not going well so far, but I'm making my video. It is super quiet today, still no orders. So let me tell you a bit more about the bike, about the things that aren't actually stock on it. So when I got the bike from e-bike Sussex. There you go, ebikesussex.com. See, the guy who owns it, his name is Rich or Richard. He's also into magic as well, so we got on extremely well. If you mention Ben Bamboozle, if you live local to Sussex, he's definitely the man to go and see. I also had it security coded there as well, so that's a bit of extra added protection. So that was an added extra. I had an extra comfortable saddle. So that's a gel saddle, which is really cool because you can actually see the gel inside there when you squish it around. But it is very comfortable. I was worried about the comfort. But it's also comes on a suspension seat post as well, so that actually bounces up and down on there. It's a suspension seat post, so it's like you do get that as stock with the bike, but you don't get that saddle. The other thing that was different was the pedals. These are more grippy pedals, metal pedals, with these spike things that are very easy to ride. Just you don't want to get them into your ankles. The other thing that was the extra was the panniers. They're extra. The bike rack on the back, this part of it does actually come with the bike, plus obviously the mud guards are on the bike as standard. The lights are on the bike as standard. These are wired in, so I should have said that on the computer. Let me switch it on here. If you hold down the plus button, that actually switches the lights on. There you go, you can see the light symbol there. That means the lights are on. So there you go, the lights are now, wait, I can't see too well in this light, but the lights are actually really good. Incredibly bright at night time. You can definitely see really well with them, and you've got your rear light on the back here, which you can see is lit up there with your reflector as well. That's really good at night as well. And what other extras have I got on there? The tyres. Switch my lights off just to save my battery. Not that I've noticed it actually drains the battery very much when you got the lights on. The tyres have got extra puncture. They've got the slime inside, plus they've got another like rubber thing around the inner tube, which helps prevent puncturing. What else did? Oh, the stand comes on it as stock. The stand is really good, the rear stand. If I try and do this one-handed, just kick it up. Oh, there you go, up it goes. That's nice and strong. That comes on the bike as stock. It's nice that it's on the back there. Something else. Now for the phone charging, very important when you're riding the bike and for holding my phone. I put this on the front here. I just bought that from Halfords for a tenner. It's actually designed to go under the back of your saddle. But in here, I put a battery pack. Just show you in here. So I've got a battery pack there, power pack, with my charger onto it. And then on here, this is the same system that I use on my scooter, which is the SP Connect system. A lot of people use Quad Lock, which is exactly the same sort of thing, and I'd probably recommend Quad Lock actually. But I use SP Connect. You just buy the phone case and you can buy different mounts. I bought the bike mount. This was reduced. I got that in London, but it's actually, all the stuff's quite expensive. But it is worth it because all you do is get your phone, put it on it that way, twist it, and now that is completely locked onto there. It can't pop off when you're riding along, no matter what the bump you go over or anything. That is solid on there now. And then I just get my charging lead. Where's the end of it? There it is. And plug that in there. Obviously no good in the rain. You can actually get a waterproof wireless charger. The SP Connect make, Quad Lock make one as well. I've got one on my 125 scooter, but I thought on the bike I'm not really going to be riding it in the rain anyway, so there's not much point in me spending out on that. Oh, that also brings me on to another extra, the mirror, which is really cool. It's only a tiny little mirror, but that is incredibly handy. I'd definitely recommend having a mirror. It has a bell on it as well, the most pathetic bell in the whole world. That's going to do nothing. But yeah, so they're the extras. I can't think of any other extras that I had on it. No, I think that's about all the extras I got on it. The rack on the back, it did have another bag on there, but I didn't want that because the good thing is when I take my Deliveroo bag, when I get to the customer, you can actually just sit the bag on the back and undo the zip and take your food out and whatever when you get to the customer, and it sits on the back really nicely. I mean, you could attach it on there, but for me, riding along with coffees and things, I prefer to have the rucksack actually on my back to take a bit of the blowout when you go over bumps and stuff. But you could, if you wanted to, you could attach the rucksack on there permanently if you wanted to. Although it'd be a struggle to get into the panniers then. So I think I prefer the setup that I've got it, and then when I get there, I can just rest it on the back there, take the food out, give it to the customer. Job done. Away you go. Part of the other reason of choosing this bike was I wanted a really upright riding position, going back to talking about like delivering coffees and stuff. So with this bike, the handlebars do curve round slightly. You can see that on the side. They are curved slightly towards you, and you can adjust them on here. So you can adjust that up and down depending on how you want it. But I got them adjusted up as pretty much as far as they'll go. So as when I'm riding it along, I'm sat up virtually upright on the bike, which keeps it all nicely balanced on there. And keeps the bag nice and level when I'm riding along. So a lot of the bikes that you see, you're sort of leaning over, and I see a lot of riders where the bag is like leant right over, and if you had a McDonald's or a Starbucks or whatever, God knows what the drinks are like when they actually get to the customer. But with this, I've actually found that it's probably better than my 125 scooter. I've had no problems with spillages or stuff. Always able to keep the bag nice and upright, and like I say, when I get off the bike, I can just sit it on the back there and get the coffees out and everything, no problem at all. And just in case, for those who haven't seen how I set up my Deliveroo bag inside, I have my cup holder there that I use for anything like cup drinks where they're in a bag and they're loose. I just sit them in there, milkshakes and that sort of stuff. Obviously, McDonald's or anything where the bag's sealed, I can't take it out. But if I do have drinks like that where they're sealed, in this side, I've got this swinging compartment here. I got this off of my Just Eat bag, this part of it. And then I've got some tea towels with me, so I'll put the bag of drinks like in there, then pack them out with the tea towels sort of at the side of them there, and then put that back across, Velcro that onto there. If I've got any other food stuff or whatever, I put in there to sort of jam it in there. put this tea towel or another tea towel, sort of cram it in the side there, and it just means that there's no way that can go anywhere inside there. So I never have any problems with them actually just tipping over as such. I do have problems with like vibrations with drinks where it spills over the edge of the coffee cup, but that's how I set on my bag. If you want to get one of those the cup holders, it's just made out of foam. I got that off of eBay. If you just look up like foam cup holder, I think I typed in, they're only like a couple of quid, £5 or whatever. They have to come from China, but they fit the drinks. They fit cans perfectly. They fit like large McDonald's paper cups. Not that you use those, but like any of those sort of paper cup type drinks, they fit in there. Basically everything fits in there really well, and it's very lightweight as well. So if I get a pizza where I've got a big box going in there, it's very easy. This is on Velcro. I can just take that out, put that flat, take out the foam thing, put that on top, or even put this, because it's got the reflective on top of the pizza box, keeps the warmth in even more, and then do up the bag. So I can still do pizzas and everything else where I need the space in there. Shopping, I normally get one big bag of shopping in there, one big bag of shopping in that side. Or if it's like Waitrose with the paper bags, I think I can get 4 bags in there, plus 1 bag in there, plus 1 bag in there. So I can still get like 6 bags of shopping on the bike. So I never have any problems in that respect. So it's just come up on Deliveroo that they're actually having problems with the payments not showing on the earnings page. So that's why I can't see my earnings on there. It's absolutely dead. So I might end the video here actually. I'm going to end the video here because there's not a lot going on, and I've been waffling on for long enough. I've probably got 10 minutes or so, probably longer knowing me, the way that I talk. Hope you like it. Like I said, it's just a little tester video. Please do give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe as well, because I want to build my subscribers up. And yeah, let me know what you'd like to know. If you'd like to know anything else about the bike or anything, I might do one on my scooter as well, actually, talking about that, because I did spend 2 years delivering on my 125 scooter, so I know an awful lot about that, and obviously delivering in the car with Atlanta as well. Oh, the fire engine's off. See you later, everybody.